Hey YouTube, Jack from Curious Culture, and today I'd like to talk about life as an INTP support worker. So I've been a support worker for about 5 years, and I'd also like to add in a bit about regulating our emotions and also learning how to be at peace with our emotions. A theme I've noticed in my life is that what I judge in others often tells me about myself, because what's really happening is the judgment is a reaction in myself, um, and it can be behaviours in myself I don't approve of and haven't understood and processed and learned how to balance. Uh, like recently, I've had a client where they're a bit of a smartass and sort of talk like, oh, they expect you to know what they're thinking. Like, you're driving along and it's like, oh, you should have known to turn here, or and it sort of grated my gears, grated my nerves. Um, just little things like that can trigger a reaction of frustration and a bigger emotion, because it's hard sometimes, I find, as an INTP support worker, is to, I think I fear sort of speaking, I feel like I'm going to say the wrong thing and then I'll get taken over by strong emotions and then ruin the situation. Uh, so in support work, you got to have your boundaries. You got to speak up for yourself sometimes and stuff like that. But there's ways around it to make it more subtle in effect and approach. I think, because what I thought I'd do next time I see that client is when they hop in the car, I'll just be like, oh, hey, how are you doing today? Would you like a quiet drive? Or would you like to have a conversation while we drive today? So I make them very aware of, put them in control and that, make them feel in control in that way, because they want control in their little ways in their lives. I don't mean that in a condescending kind of way. I mean that in a way where they might be experiencing some level of internal uh, stress or whatever, and by having that bit of control, um, they makes them feel some sort of relief. When it's about, sorry, my tape is a bit sensitive. Yeah, it gives them some relief, and I just get a strong intuition also to not take it seriously. Sometimes we can overthink life lessons and think, oh, I need to think hard about how to deal with this, but it's like, well, I'm also going to benefit if I relax as much as I can in the situation, be reassuring, and say things like, "Oh, thank you for telling me that," and then sharing your thoughts and helping them become comfortable. Because the reason that they're like that is that they might be new, they might have had. I think what I've noticed is I had a client years ago who was in a car accident, and he controlled every little thing in his life, and it had to be perfect. And he would get snappy if it wasn't. And I remember when I first worked with him, he was an old fella, and I was organising his walker, and he had a bunch of documents and things under his walker, and I just sort of trying to do the right thing, and but the thing is, you're gonna make mistakes like anything you do when you're trying to figure out what to do, and then the mistake is just there to make you to make it clear on what not to do and what to do. So like I'm doing a remedial massage course, and I had to do my assessment. I kept making lots of little mistakes, and I had a whole sheet of things I had to correct, and but that's a way to progress and be humble about it and be like, I want to learn. And I think that's a big thing about life. We need to be like, hey, I'm here to learn. Everyone's a teacher in some sense, and you know, there's going to be certain people where you got to cut them off, and when they disrespect you too much, and or like make it really clearly unfair and stuff like that, and that's a whole different category I'm talking about there. But in this example, um, yeah, it can be a tricky one, and I think support work can teach you so much about people and yourself, um, and how to deal with people in all their different ways. And people are the most complex thing, to be honest. One of the most complex things, and I think as an INTP, supposedly have aspirational FE, extroverted feeling, and introverted thinking, wants to make a logical understanding of how to be harmonious and effective with people. And this is a bit of a slow process, but I mean, I reckon the best thing is, I went to the gym this morning and I went on the rowing machine, and that sort of allows emotions to come up, supposedly, as I did some research on it. And then I had to sit on a bench and I felt this heavy emotion come up, and I was like, okay, just be with it, don't fight it, because what I've noticed in myself is I'll extrovert my judgment and be like, oh, that's not acceptable in another person, but I'm actually not accepting that behaviour in myself, as we're all kind of mirrors in a sense, and we need to keep edging towards compassion and understanding, as well as having boundaries in that. But anyway, that's a bit of a long-winded explanation on that. But I had to sit with the emotion, just let it process, just breathe with it, let it be there, and before you know it, like it's gone largely. And I like to think that it's an integration making me stronger. There can be anxiety from suppressing your emotions, and that's what anxiety is. It's rejection of reality. It's a rejection of the inner state, and that if we can breathe and have spaciousness and activate the parasympathetic nervous system and let things have space and expression, and then they take their course, and we're left with peace and openness. And then do some weights, and just light to moderate weights, just get the body moving. Push-ups, because a push-up, you're really sort of planted on the earth, aren't you? And so I find when I do a push-up, it makes me feel more solid in myself, and I now feel more calm. So we can do all these exercises and that with intention. And yeah, it's support work's a good learning curve, and I think the big thing is not to take things too serious, and be light-hearted. I want to take up like dance lessons, and just to be more free and open in life, and I think we forget how rigid and serious we can get. So I think things like dance can help, and make sure you do something genuinely fun once a month. That's what I reckon. And yeah, it's an ongoing learning process all the time with support work and life in general. And I've had a great manager in my previous role who she did 30 plus years and said the learning doesn't end. And that's what I like about it, because the growth doesn't end. And support work is a great way to, okay, I'm going to work on patients again. But have more of it and a better understanding of it. I'm going to try to gently state my boundaries without sparking emotion on the other, but get the message through. That's a powerful skill. I want to listen with complete attention, be fully present, and notice that, notice the person relax and be open to sharing. So yeah, a lot of clients can have anxiety, and I think a big theme is that they lose trust because of past experiences with other people, and it really puts the defences up. So yeah, it's a great role, and it's really sort of meaningful to me. And people might think, oh, INTPs are just you know your typical programmer or whatever, but I've found a lot of meaning. I tried to do electrical work and that when I was younger, and it just didn't feel good to me. So the social work and mental health work has been an adventure for me in understanding myself and others. And yeah, I hope you've gained something useful from this video. And I like to just relax in the videos and take my time with what I'm talking about, and not sort of try and make it perfect. But yeah, I hope you've gained something positive. Thank you.